My name is Tom Busey, and I'm a faculty member at Indiana University in Bloomington. And for the past dozen years or so, I've been looking at how latent print examiners process fingerprint information in order to enable identification or exclusion decisions. And in this particular experiment, we're interested in which features are selected by examiners as they go about doing the task. And then we later on see how experts actually use those features in order to do an actual comparison-like task. So in this first part of the experiment, you'll see a fingerprint that looks something like this, and the cursor consists of a red square. And what I'd like you to do is go through and select those features that you think are going to be most diagnostic or most specific for individualizing this particular fingerprint. Now, I know you don't have the comparison, and it might depend on the comparison, but just think of this as the analysis phase of the ACE-V process. So I have no idea what I should select here, so I'm just going to select randomly, but I'm going to click here, and you can see it left behind a blue square. And then I'm going to consider this to be the most diagnostic feature. Now, because I'm not a latent print examiner, I have no idea if that's actually true or not. That's just my example. And then the next place I click should be from the remaining information, what is the next most diagnostic feature. So I'm going to click here. I have no idea if that's actually diagnostic or not, and so on. Now, you can click anywhere you like. Obviously, I don't think you should click outside the fingerprint, but you can't actually overlap the sections, but you can abut them. So I could click right here, for example, and I could make several in a row if you thought those would be helpful. Now, eventually what you're going to find is that in the second half of the experiment, we're going to be using these features and only a subset of these features to perform a comparison type task. But for now, just think of this in terms of which is the most diagnostic feature and then the next most diagnostic and so on in terms of the actual comparison process. Sometimes you'll get the features in order the way you've clicked them. Sometimes it might be in a different order. So right now, just focus on selecting those features that individually might be most diagnostic for conducting a comparison. So in this experiment, there are 72 trials, and it keeps count down here at the bottom. Once I finish my 8th click, this fingerprint will disappear and the next one will appear. And the data is saved to our server after every fingerprint disappears. So I can quit anytime I like, but as long as I finish that particular trial, it'll save my progress, and the next time I log in, it will pick up where I left off. Now, if you don't like a feature that you've clicked on, you can hit the reset button and start over here, and it'll just keep track of things that way. So it should be a very straightforward experiment. So go ahead and finish all 72 trials and then send us an email when you're done. We will process the images and then give you the link for the second experiment, which is more of a comparison type task.